Hello and welcome to the Rankers podcast, where we literally rank anything and everything. Just two best friends ranking it up. And my name's Nick.
My name is Jacob. Let's rank them.
Let's rank them. What is up, Jacob?
Dude, what's up? It is
The sky. Got him.
man, it's just for the people listening, we kind of when
Just for y'all.
when you intro these exactly the same, like every single
Yeah.
week, you kind of feel awkward, like you run out of things to say because it's not for some reason it's not like having a normal conversation, but literally off mic, me and
Yeah.
Nick had been talking for 20 minutes before we started recording this. And then I
That
hit
is
the
true.
record button and I'm like, hey, bud,
Hey, how you doing? Even though we just talked about how we're doing for 20 minutes.
how's your day, Chief?
It's good. It's good.
Dude,
But
seriously,
no,
what month is it?
dude, it is the month of the spooky season, October.
Yes, sir. The spooky
The
season.
spooky season. I will
Yes,
say last October we went kind of in on October last year. I think we're gonna do the same thing this year.
we did. So last year, if you haven't checked those out, go back and check out our I think we did top 5 horror movie villains.
Yep, and then we did top 10 candies.
Halloween candy, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is just candy. I don't know why I call it Halloween candy. Yeah,
True.
that was a fun month for sure, because we definitely delved into the spooky side of
Dude.
things, which we're not exactly gonna do for this episode. If you
No,
clicked
not
on
the
it,
goal.
not going into the spooky side of things, but we are wanting to embrace the season of autumn.
Absolutely.
Or if you listen to our last episode, football season.
Yeah, we're still in the South, so
Yeah, so today we are going to rank our top 5 holiday treats, the fall edition. So
fall
we'll
edition.
definitely be able to bring this episode back within different seasons, hopefully. But this one is going to be the fall edition. And this is exciting because this is the season for treats, for sure.
It really is. And that was kind of our thought process, obviously, going into the season, because we had done candies already. We've talked about sodas now recently. It's like, man, let's just find something else that we can talk about sweets, because who doesn't love treats, sweets, whatever. And we thought about maybe making it specific to just Halloween, but then we were like, well, holiday season kind of wraps that in. So as far as the fall edition goes, we are trying to stay within the fall, not necessarily Christmas time, because I think that there's plenty of podcasts and topics and foods that we can talk about with Christmas time.
Yeah.
So when we say holiday season, we're specifically kind of talking about October, November.
Yeah, for sure. And they're like, we'll get to those other podcasts when we get to those seasons. And there's definitely distinctions between like the holiday treats that are around Christmas time and then the ones that are around like fall and Thanksgiving. That's kind of what we're talking about here. And so this goes out to all the people out there who are just make the best desserts. Nick, right off the bat, just tell me like your family member that anytime you go over to their house, it's always going to be a banger of a dessert around this season. Go.
Oh man.
Didn't give you any prep.
No, that's also not easy for me to answer, because my family, like, we kind of go up and down with like who's even cooking to begin with.
Okay.
My mom cooked, she's always cooked most of the time, but recently here my sister she's all in on being healthy and things like that. And so she tries making, she made a lasagna one time that literally didn't consist of anything that was actually in normal lasagna. It was like cauliflower, like
what?
It was like everything but actual lasagna, but it kind of tasted like it. So like recently I've had some sweets that she's been making, because she's been getting into that, and they're not bad. And then she's like, well, let me tell you, they're gluten-free, dairy-free, food-free. I'm like, whoa, what? How's it? What? But so she's been doing a good job of that recently.
Yeah.
So I'll give her the plug on that, but can't go wrong with, good old like pie or something that's just
Oh yeah. I was gonna
Thanksgiving.
say, yeah, my grandma, there may be a specific pie that I talk about
Okay.
on my list that she makes specifically for for me and my brother and my dad specifically. We love, but we'll get into that. Why don't we go ahead and just dive into this
Let's
thing?
just rip it off. Rip off the Band-Aid. Let's do it.
Okay, yeah. Let's rip off the pumpkin Band-Aid. All right. Why don't you
insight to your list?
Maybe, I don't know. You want to start, Nick?
Yeah, I'll start.
All right, give us your number 5.
Ranker fam, this is no easy number 5. This one was probably my most thought out number 5 in all of our top 5 lists that we've done.
Wow.
And it's because I want y'all to go back and listen to our top 10 candies episode from last year. And something that I included in that list that Jacob was not a fan of is candy corn.
Oh my gosh. I knew that you were going to put candy corn on this list.
Yes, sir. But so I have a couple reasons as to why candy corn should be on this list. And by couple, I mean 10. Okay, but first let me just say, I'm not a huge candy fan to begin with. And so like when I do think of candy in this fall season, I do tend to think about like Reese's. You know, they got those cool commercials that's literally just a Reese's and like a webbing, but for some reason it sticks with me.
Oh yeah.
And then and then literally candy corn, bro. Hello. Like I said with the candy episode, it's just one of those candies that you can put in the bowl, leave out all October. It can even be the same bag that you put in at the beginning of October. It's still good to eat a month later. But it's just one of those candies that you can just keep eating and you don't even know before it's too late and the bowl is empty. But okay, here's some reasons why candy corn is so cool. Candy corn is not actually as sugary and sweet as you think compared to like other candies. Because let me tell you this, it contains 30 grams of sugar per serving, which is 15 pieces, compared to a serving size of Skittles of 28 Skittles, which is 42 grams of sugar.
Oh, don't hate on my Skittles, bro. Like, what are you doing, man?
A good reason to like candy corn is that it's healthier than other candies, even though there's no such thing as healthy candy.
Right.
Candy corn is actually it's a very old candy. It came out in the 1890s, and it actually came out as being known as chicken feed. That was the first name of it because farmers created it, and it was for raising awareness and money for agriculture. It was basically a tribute to agriculture industry.
Nick is just laying out all of the facts on candy corn right now. They're just letting it happen.
Within the first 2 years of candy corn being a thing, it was rated number 1 in the country when it comes to candy. They could not keep candy corn on the shelves when this thing came out, which honestly makes it one of the most loved and oldest candies. 35 million pounds of candy corn is produced each year, which is 9 billion individual candy corns.
That is insane.
So our world is still loving candy corn. Lastly, it's a fun thing to eat. And again, I already said that it lasts a long time. You can put it in the bowl and it'll stay there all month long. That is it, unless you get a candy corn eater in your house. Number 5 is candy corn. I'll stop.
Goodness gracious, Nick, that you have never thought out one of your picks that much, like ever. That was the most like drawn out, like well-researched thing. Usually you just show up and you're like, I'm feeling this week, so I'll put it at number 5.
I did this because I remembered last year and you were hating on the candy corn pick. And then 2, I just started getting into the history of candy corn. I actually took off like 8 different things that I wrote about it. I was like, this is all pointless crap.
Just went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I really did.
For the record, everybody, if you haven't figured it out, I hate candy corn. I think it's gross. I'm not a fan of it. But I respect your picks always, Nick.
I felt like I had to back it up just for you.
I'm glad it's number 5. Thank you.
Yeah. I had to put it on the list, number 5. All right, Jacob, what is your number 5?
All right, my number 5, I'm going to start it off like right off the bat with the classics. My number 5 is pumpkin pie. So I've got pumpkin pie here at number 5. Used to not like pumpkin pie growing up. It was kind of one of the desserts that I started to develop a love for as I got older. And I realized how just kind of simple it was and how really, really tasty it was. It's one of those things that, like, other than hot chocolate and ice cream, maybe one of the best pairings with Cool Whip or whipped cream, like, of all time. It is such a good combination when you put those two things together. You can eat it cold, or you can eat it right out of the oven hot. It's good either way. It's one of those things too it's like not that difficult to make, so it's rarely messed up. Like, most pumpkin pies kind of just across the board taste similar, and they're all good because it's like really easy to make. And so you kind of just, it's kind of like making spaghetti. Like, even if you mess up spaghetti, it's not that terrible. And so it's one of those things where it's usually just consistently really good. And it's definitely one that I'm going for at Thanksgiving. I'm gonna get a slice of it. Great combination with the crust. One of the most classics, probably the most iconic Thanksgiving or fall dessert of all time. Definitely up there. And it's coming in at number 5 for me. I'm a big fan of pumpkin pie.
That's a good pick. I can't argue with that. I will go ahead and say I don't have that one in my list. It was hard for me not to put it in, but candy corn had to make number 5.
A little nitpick already. Then I see.
Yes, sir.
All right,
it's so
go
good.
ahead.
Yeah, So I was just gonna say you really can't eat it cold or warm, which makes it pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's like pizza, like, right out of the oven or sitting in the fridge.
Hot take, Nick pick. I don't like cold pizza.
Really?
Yeah, I don't eat cold
Did
pizza.
that not come up? I wonder if that came up in our pizza podcast, and I just don't remember.
It might have, and I know that Josiah is a fan of doing that. So maybe he mentioned that at some point, but I can't do it. I just don't like cold pizza.
Love cold pizza. Love it.
I feel like I'm in the minority of that, honestly.
Probably. I haven't met a lot of people who don't like cold pizza.
Very
All right,
true.
what's your number 4?
All right, my number 4 top holiday treat fall edition is the pumpkin spice chai latte.
Oh, the chai.
The chai.
Do you have a specific place that it's from that you're thinking, or can you get it at multiple places?
You can get it at multiple places. It depends. Like if you're going like Starbucks or Dunkin', I think Starbucks has a better one. I think you can go back to our coffee podcast, but I just think Dunkin' puts a little bit too much sugar in their stuff. And so I feel like Starbucks is a little bit less, which is even crazy to say to begin with. But I definitely would pick a Starbucks pumpkin spice over a Dunkin'.
There is one of my favorite jokes in a movie is I've never said this on the pod. I think the Lego movie is hilarious. I think it's really, really funny.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite jokes in that movie is at the beginning when he's ordering coffee from Starbucks, and it's like faint in the background as it transitions to the next scene. But like, if you listen for it, it's absolutely hilarious. But he like gets his coffee, he like orders it, and right before it goes into the next scene, the guy's like, "That'll be $47." Because like Starbucks is so
I feel like
expensive.
I remember that.
I listen for it every single time. Laugh so hard because I was gonna say a pumpkin spice chai latte at Starbucks is
probably almost $7.
No piece of cake there, like for real. So do you go with?
It's an investment.
Are you a hot or iced guy with that drink?
I'm more of an iced. But that's like across the board for me.
Yeah.
But I do like the pumpkin spices iced or hot. I've been doing a little bit of practice for this podcast, and I've gotten a couple from Starbucks. I had texted you about getting one at Starbucks. I tried the pumpkin spice cold foam one.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the new ones. It's basically like their sweet foam that they've been doing, but they just added it pumpkin spice.
You're such a coffee guy. I thought that this was going to be much higher up on your list. I thought pumpkin spice latte was gonna sit at the top for you. But I'm a little surprised it's at 4.
I thought about putting it a little higher. And I was like, I don't want to get picked on for getting pumpkin spice. No, just kidding. No, I thought about having it higher. I just didn't, because there's things that I think are better when it comes to the fall season with holiday treats. And honestly, like, I didn't used to drink the pumpkin spice because I thought that it was always so basic. Yeah. And so I kind of was like, I'm just not going to get it because, like, dude, I just don't want to do it. So it's only been recently that I've started to try it. And then I went with, again, in specific, my number 4 is the chai latte, which
Yeah.
is if you don't want coffee in it, you get chai. I've become a fan of chai recently. And
Chai's
so,
really good.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could just do, all the basic pumpkin spice latte stuff is just going to be sitting right here at number 4 for me, just across the board.
Yeah.
But it's a good afternoon drink. I'll say that. Like for the
The
chai version.
right, right. The pumpkin spice thing has become like kind of a thing of its own. Like other people, they call it like they call it like PSL. They'll refer to that when they're talking about something that's basic. Like it's become its own joke in a way.
It really has.
And there's a podcast I listen to, and it's like a superhero podcast, and they actually did our
Yeah.
artwork. So shout out to those guys over at
Oh,
Dynamic Duel.
shout
But
out.
they were talking
Love you.
about how Marvel movies, like the new, all the new Marvel movies are like one of the guys
Mhm.
was trying to argue, and he was like, they're so basic, like they're like pumpkin spice lattes, like they're all the same, they're basic. And then the other guy's response was, you're right, but here's the thing, I like pumpkin spice lattes. They're really, really good. And so I'm going to keep drinking them. And I always thought that was funny, but
Uh,
it is basic, but it tastes
that is
really, really
funny.
good. It tastes really good.
Yeah,
So I love the
I would
pick.
agree. And that's why it made my number 4. So what is your number 4?
So my number 4, maybe a little surprising, but I have loved this treat ever since I was a kid. My number 4 is candy apples. So specifically the candy apples, not the ones with the caramel on. I like the caramel apples, but I'm talking about
Uh-huh.
the red, the dipped in the red hard shell or whatever. It
Yeah, okay, yeah.
is very, very good to me. Better than the caramel. Like I said, I like both, but the candy
Okay.
apple is just so good. And it has to be, it has to be like the Granny Smith apple. And for some reason, ever since I was a kid, that combination of that, like whatever the flavoring is mixed in with the apple and like the juice, but the hard part of the shell, something about it is
Mm.
just, I've always loved it. Love the taste of it. Whenever I go to a place that has one, I'm always getting a candy apple. I'm always in the mood for it. It's a big
Have you ever gotten them
fall
from
treat.
J Moore Farms? I'm pretty sure
No.
they have this.
Yeah,
I
I
think I
think
tried one
they're.
last time I was
I've
there.
never been to Jaymore Farm, so I know that they're like famous for that.
They actually do a pumpkin spice donut, I think, and they're
Oh,
super popular and a lot of people get them. Side note, if you live in North Georgia, go to J Moore Farms and get a pumpkin spice donut.
yeah.
Um,
That sounds amazing, honestly.
yeah,
That
but
sounds freaking incredible.
that's a good pick. I mean, I honestly can't tell you the last time I had one though, so I'm not out here.
It's
It's not
it's
it's a less popular one. I'll go with that,
yeah,
but I
it
like
was
it.
definitely my one of my picks that I was like, I knew it probably wouldn't be super popular, but just personally for me, I just freaking love candy apples. And I just love the
Hey,
concept. It just makes me think of fall. And so it comes in
yeah.
at number 4 for me.
Well, that's the point of this list and what we do. We get to come up with our own opinions, and this is what we're here for, the
It's
fall
our
edition.
podcast, man. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
All right, you got
Just kidding. We want to listen to the Ranker fam when y'all talk to us.
yeah, that's right. I am kidding. We love you. You want to go ahead and do number 3, Nick?
Yes. All right. So my number 3, sticking on the basic side, is the good old fashioned pumpkin bread.
Oh, okay.
I am a big sucker for pumpkin bread. Um, Specifically, if you warm it up and put a little bit of butter on it, man,
Ooh.
it's
Ooh.
good, good. um, I will say, like, there was a point when I was trying to be gluten free, but I have not stuck to that recently. RIP
not
to that.
not with the pumpkin bread. Not when
But
fall season
man,
comes around.
with pumpkin bread, if you are gluten free out there and you're listening to this podcast and it's not for medical reasons, just give in a little bit towards the pumpkin bread. Like I promise, it won't disappoint you. And just think about it in the moment. Don't think about later. Just like embrace what's happening in your mouth and put some butter on it. And I promise you, it'll be a good time for the next 10 seconds. uh So number 3 is gonna be pumpkin bread. on my top 5 holiday treats.
I was just imagining if somebody were listening to that and they like missed the part where you said the pumpkin bread and they didn't know what you were talking about. I just wonder what would have come
Oh
up in
no.
people's minds. But what a description that was.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Advocating for sin essentially is what you were doing, and
Absolutely.
absolutely no regrets. Just, do you have any place in particular you like to get it, or are you good with it anywhere?
Oh, yeah, I'm good with it anywhere.
Yeah, you're
I
just a
mean
pumpkin bread guy.
there's a possibility of it being dry, and
Sure.
but
That's why you add the
for the
butter.
most part. Yeah, you got the butter, warm it up, it'll be all good.
It'll be all good. Just put it in your mouth and go.
Just
Oh
put it in your
man.
mouth and go.
All right. That's a great pick. I had flirted with pumpkin bread a little bit because I like it, because I'm also a fan of banana bread, and it's a very similar vibe, and definitely a good one for sure. Didn't make it on my list, but I'm really excited about my number 3, because my number 3 was actually my last entry into my top 5, and then once I put it in there, I swapped some things around, because I thought about this later on and I didn't even realize it, but when I thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh, it is so good. I forgot about that. But my number 3 is the pumpkin pie blizzard from Dairy Queen. And this junk is so good.
That's what's up.
They have a pumpkin pie one, and then they have like an apple pie one as well that I think they save for more of like the Thanksgiving like Christmassy time. But they specifically
I feel like you like that though, like in the
I've had both.
Apple.
I've had both. They're both really, really good.
Have you had both already in the season?
No, not yet.
Okay,
I think they just dropped. Yeah, it's definitely seasonal. But the pumpkin pie blizzard, I just have to say, people, if you have not tried this thing yet, you got to go and try it. If you like anything, Nick, if you like anything pumpkin, which I know that you do, obviously, like, you've got to go and try this blizzard.
Okay.
It's really, really good. It's got like the crust in there for the pie thing, and then also like the chunks with the pumpkin and everything. I don't know exactly what they used for that, because it's not like actual chunks of pumpkin. Like, I don't know how they do the flavoring, but there's chunks of something in there, and it's just immaculate. It's on another level.
It's next level food science that you and I can't explain on this podcast.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. There are people working countless hours to figure out how to put pumpkin flavoring in the ice cream, and we just get to reap the benefits of it, and it is so good.
Hats off to y'all.
I will be getting one this season, and it's amazing. You've got to try it. This is really just more of a pitch. This is me pitching you guys, the Ranker fam, to go and try this if you haven't, because it's not super popular, I would say, if you're thinking about like overall like the most famous fall treats. But give Dairy Queen some credit. They know what they're freaking doing over there with the Blizzard factory they got going on. So
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that pick. It's not fast food. It is fan food.
That's right.
Dairy Queen, I just want to say, if y'all are listening, hit us up. We'd love to do a sponsorship or whatever y'all want. I could do an ad read every podcast. Just let us know.
Just on the off chance that Dairy Queen, you're listening, please sponsor us.
Hey, you never know. We got to put us out there. Ranker fam, let Dairy Queen know for us.
Help us help you. Okay.
Absolutely.
No, that's my number 3.
That's a good number 3. Good number 3. All right. So we're on to my number 2.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of this pick as well.
Okay.
Mainly because it's my number 2, right? But no, I was kidding. This one is more of one that goes with the season for me, almost more than anything else on this list, maybe besides like a pumpkin spice. But when I think about the fall season, another thing that I do is some campfires, some like sweaters, all that kind of vibes. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I like s'mores around a campfire.
Oh,
but I will say it is more of an atmosphere food for me.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm not just chilling at home like, yo, I'm going to make a s'more right now. But like getting outside with some friends, family, you got a fire around. Maybe somebody's got a guitar going, man. Like nothing I want more right then is like a s'more.
So are you you put a space in between the S and the M in s'more. You say some more.
Yes, more.
It's just okay. Yeah, I've always just said s'more.
That's what I'm saying. S'more.
No, dude, I can go back and play this for you. You were straight up
Was I saying
saying
more?
some more. You're like, you know what
Some
I love
more.
about this season, you guys? Some more. Like some more what, Nick? Be more
Some
specific,
more
bro.
what? Ah, that's hilarious.
I
I
love
want
you.
some more of s'mores.
The classic Sandlot joke with the one of like anytime I watch that scene in the Sandlot where he's teaching Smalls how to make a s'more, I'm like, I gotta get me one
Oh
of these
yeah.
right now. It looks so freaking good. Sorry,
Dude, that's like
keep going.
the 15th Sandlot reference from you in these recent podcasts.
Dude, wait till we get to our sports movie
Baby
episode.
Ruth.
It's coming.
We got to get Will back on here for a baseball podcast.
Oh my gosh. It's been too long. I love having Will on the pod.
Oh man. Good times.
Shout out. I will
out.
say that my wife is a sitting, chilling at home, randomly wanting a s'more, and she makes them in the microwave. It's one of her favorite foods. So she like, you can like put the marshmallow in the microwave for like 15 seconds or something. And it doesn't cook like you do in a fire, but it like warms it up and it makes the inside like melt and stuff.
That makes sense.
And so we have s'more supplies like year round because she loves them, but it is way better. Are you so where's your temperature at? What color is your s'more when you bring it out of the fire? Are you like set it on fire and then blow it out?
See,
or do you take your time and get it golden? Like where
I try not to be the middle school boy and just catch it on fire as soon as I can. But at the same time, I'm so eager to eat it that like I don't have the patience for it. So like I will say somewhere in between. Like maybe the first one is probably burnt, but the second one I'm like, okay, I need to take my time with the second one.
I've had one now and I can go.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, when I was a kid, it's weird. When I was a kid, I was more of, I took my time and because I didn't want it burnt. When I was a kid, anything that was burnt, I was just like, that's not good. I don't want it. But then I realized as I got older, I was like, even when it's burnt, it still tastes pretty good. And so I was like, I'll scorch it a little bit more and get it going. But dude, I don't hate that pick. S'mores are amazing.
I was excited to put that on my list. It was one of the ones that I thought of immediately when I thought about doing this list.
Yeah.
But fantastic. So that's my number 2. We are down to your number 2. Yes.
Yeah, so my number 2 has kind of already been mentioned, but I'm gonna say pumpkin spice lattes across the board. Yeah. So that's my number 2. I'm also gonna rope in here any sort of pumpkin spice flavored creamer. I look for it every year.
Yep.
I love it. You'll see later on. Yep, you'll see later on when we get to Christmas stuff. I do the same thing with any kind of peppermint flavored creamer, like peppermint mocha. I love the seasonal flavors. And so I'm kind of roping that in here as well. I definitely will go ahead and say, I'll just be honest with you. If you put 5 pumpkin spice lattes in front of me from 5 different places, I'm not going to be able to tell the difference. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. They all taste the same to me. Yeah, they all taste super sweet and super good. I've had really good pumpkin spice lattes from McDonald's, from Starbucks, from Dunkin', from a local coffee joint. Yeah, dude. Shut up. I know that you had your McDonald's days. We went to college together. I know you, bro.
Don't let the Ranker fam know.
No, dude. I love pumpkin spice lattes. I mean, they're, call me a girl, call me whatever you want. Just, I'm ordering it. It's amazing. It's iced or hot. It's really good. There's something about it that's because I love the environment aspect of it. It would feel really weird for me, even though it would still taste good. It would not be the same if I was drinking a pumpkin spice latte in the middle of July. It just wouldn't be the same. Get me a pumpkin spice latte on like a cool autumn morning where it's like 45, 50 degrees. and it's like the leaves are falling, and I'm like, ooh, this is just like I'm in like a Hallmark movie. It's amazing.
Oh, dude, that was so
And
specific. I
oh
love it.
man, I'm a big
You're so
pumpkin
passionate with
spice
that too,
latte.
man.
Yeah, I definitely, if I have to pick
I
between
thought you were gonna
ice,
cry.
if I had to, well, if I had to pick between iced or hot, I would definitely go with hot, just because it's cooler during this
Yeah.
season. And yeah, there's what can we say
What
about
can we
pumpkin
say
spice
about
latte?
pumpkin spice latte? We can say a lot. Let me
You
just
know that
tell
it
you.
was going to be on the list. We've both talked about it. We've got it out of the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
We're moving on. It's
We're
exciting to me that it's neither of our number ones. So I'm really interested to see what your number one is going to be, since it wasn't a
dude,
pumpkin spice latte.
my number one is something that's near and dear to my heart. But let me just say that across the board, I'm not going to say it's my favorite because this could be a list one day, but
Okay.
it is one of my favorite treats in general, and it is cookies. Cookies are my favorite dessert
You're
across
just
the board.
you're just putting cookies?
Yes.
Just cookies in general?
Yes, because here's why. I'll I'll get specific here in a second. But dude, honestly though, like you name any kind of cookie, like if you're like, here's a pumpkin spice cookie, man, like I'm gonna love it and it's gonna be at the top of my list.
Sign
Um,
me up. I'm in, Nick
sign me
said.
up. Specifically though, a warm cookie, like again, it can be any flavor. Put pumpkin spice in it with like some vanilla ice cream, man. Like that is so good to me. That's I keep giving it away pretty much, but like that's literally one of my most favorite desserts. And like when cookies come around in the holiday seasons, whether that's fall or winter, like I am just all in on the cookies. If there's like a whole spread of desserts and we got like pumpkin pie and everything, like I'm putting the cookie on my plate first. Like that's just how I am. And like I love cookies.
Hey,
And
Ranker fam, let us know if there are any job openings for Santa Claus, because I think that Nick would absolutely love having that job,
dang,
just to eat
I
1,000
would.
cookies in
Oh
24
man.
hours.
Oh man. I could do a top 10 podcast on cookies. Like I'm gonna just be honest.
We'll get there. Oh,
Yes.
don't worry about it. We're like, dude, this is why we made this podcast. The world is our oyster. The world
The
is our
world.
is whatever we want it to
We should
be.
rank the worlds and oysters.
Whatever, man. Whatever you want to do. We just rank whatever we want. That's why we love doing this pod, man. We will get to
Facts.
cookies. I didn't know that you were
Oh
such
dude.
a cookie
I'm a
lover.
cookie monster. Yeah, cookie monster.
Nick is
Santa cookie
the
monster.
cookie monster.
Yeah. Put them together. I'll be both of them, Santa and Cookie Monster. But
So you would just
yeah,
consider
so
that across the board, like that's definitely a fall. I mean, I can't argue with you with cookies being a fall treat, because it's definitely, I mean, they're in
well,
there
I just feel
somehow.
like it's encompassing with the season. I like to always challenge one of my picks. It seems like putting sweet tea in a soda podcast. But
Oh
like
man,
this is my
too
sweet tea in a
soon.
soda podcast. Too soon, too soon. That was like a couple weeks ago, bro.
R.I.P.
Calm down. But like, dude, I like it just goes with the season. Like, yes, I am eating cookies year round. Do not hear me wrong. But like but it always seems like, there is going to be some sort of a special cookie that has to do with the season. And so, like, I'm eating them.
So tell me this, Nick. Go. What cookies do you have in your home right now?
Right now, I have Publix cookies, and it's the half and half of chocolate chip and sprinkled.
Wow.
And I
You
also
see,
have a pack of Oreos.
listeners, did you hear what I hear? Because there is such a quick response there. I cut out no time. Nick knew
You cut
exactly
out no time.
what they are. They're probably sitting somewhere like with a seatbelt across, like covering them. He cherishes them. He knows
Bro,
where they are. He knows what they are. He is the cookie monster.
I don't even have to like reach that far to grab them right now.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. They're right next to me right now.
Yeah, literally, that's what I'm saying.
I love it, dude. I love that pick.
Uh,
Way to bring it home with that one.
I think so. I think so. But what I'm more excited about is your number one pick because
It's
I have no
gonna
idea what it is.
it's gonna blow your mind because it's a Jake
Dude.
take. So earlier
Yes.
I was talking about my grandmother, and if for any reason
You
my
say apple
grandmother,
pie.
specifically Grandma Mary, if you for whatever reason ever listen to this podcast, this goes to you because you make this specifically for me and my brother and my dad every Thanksgiving. It is
Love
a
you, Grandma
pie.
Mary.
It is not apple pie. But
Okay,
my
okay.
number one holiday treat for the
Key
fall
lime.
season is pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
I
This ball raised in the
freaking
South, ain't he?
love me some pecan pie.
Oh man.
Oh, you northern people out there listening, you don't even know what we got going down here, man. We've got it's not pecan pie, it's
It's
pecan pie.
pecan. Yep.
With 3 E's. And so I listen, man, she actually made, because as if you know me, you know that I'm gluten-free right now. And she actually this past year made me a gluten-free one, which I just adored her for. But pecan pie is something that, like, it's literally one of those things that I don't remember being introduced to it. I've just always loved it. It's something
Yeah.
that I've always known that was one of my favorites. So she has this room. She throws like a big Thanksgiving for like our extended family every year,
Yeah.
the Saturday before Thanksgiving. It's like a
Mhm.
Bell tradition. And one of
Nice.
her dining room, like her extra room, is the dessert room. And it's literally
Ooh,
just
stop
this table
playing.
that she has all the desserts. Dude, we beam there because we're immediate family, so we get there
Yeah.
early. And so
Hey.
I just go straight there, and there's like 3 pecan pies waiting, and oh my gosh, man.
Dang. 3.
Oh
She
yeah.
knows y'all be
She
liking it
knows.
if there's 3 out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
She
dude.
said, "Well,
Pecan
this one's
pie.
for Jacob, and the other 2 are for the rest of the
Yeah.
25 people in the family."
Yeah. I shout out to Matthew, my brother, part of the Ranker fam. He's listening right now. I know he is. He knows what
What
I'm
up,
talking
Maddie?
about. Pecan pie is amazing. It's my number one. You could probably, if you wanted to, put it in a Christmas list as well as far as treats, because it's so close to Thanksgiving. But I'm gonna put it in the fall time, because
I think it falls in the fall.
when I think of pecan pie, I think of fall, and I can't wait to eat it this year. I'm ready. I'm stoked for it. My mouth is watering now, and it's my number one. I
Dang.
love it. Have you ever had pecan pie?
I've had pecan pie. I just can't say I've had a memorable pecan pie.
Oh man,
So
you're coming. You're
yeah,
coming this year. You're
please send
coming
the
to
invite.
Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
We're
sounds
we're
good.
making it happen.
When is the real question is when is Matthew gonna be on the podcast, man? What?
Dude, I've got to get Matthew on here. My brother is
I feel
amazing.
like he's got some fun opinions.
He has a billion of them. For some reason,
He's got a billion of
he
them.
gets super weird when he talks in front of people.
Oh
Although
yeah,
he can talk the
even
horns
just
off
in
a
front of
billy
me and
goat.
you.
He just
Yeah.
like, but I'm gonna get him on the pod. There's multiple things that we could, maybe if we did some kind of like childhood thing that me and him could dive into the
Yeah,
nostalgia. Like maybe you could bring one of your brothers on. That would be a blast.
that
Just
would
to
be a
do
blast. Actually,
like
we
a
should do that.
nostalgic family podcast, because I know you have a couple older brothers,
Yeah,
and so that would be fun. But
that would be fun.
speaking of
But
fun, guys, this was great. I really really enjoyed this pod.
this was a fun pod. I think we had some interesting takes. We had some maybe not so popular takes, and then we had some basic takes. It really
Yeah,
it included it all. Like
all within 5 picks. That's crazy.
that's the podcast for y'all. That's as good as it gets right there.
That definitely is. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here. We didn't say it at the top, but guys, if you are new to the pod, welcome. Welcome to the Ranker fam. We're so glad
Welcome.
that you guys are listening. Happy fall season. And look, if you have not followed us on Instagram, please go ahead and do that. You can follow us on Twitter as well. Just look up our handle, the Rankers Podcast.
Do
And
it.
if you want to communicate with us too, that you can do that with those platforms, or you can email
Do
us
it.
at the rankerspodcast@gmail.com. Also, guys, please remember to like, rate, and review us. That is super helpful for us as we grow our
Just
podcast.
Ranker fam, picture the Shia LaBeouf meme just of him saying, just do it. So
Dude,
just do it. Just go like and subscribe. You already know what's up.
you,
We need those comments, those reviews on Apple Music and or what Apple Podcasts, I mean, and Spotify. That
yeah,
would
for
mean the
sure.
world to us. That helps us out in many different ways. So please do that. But yeah, so I
We
didn't mean to
want
cut you
to
off, but
no, you're good. We the Ranker fam, we just want to keep expanding. And so we want more and more people to join this fam, because we really think we've got something for everybody with this podcast. Speaking of which, if you are going to join us next time, we have a super exciting, really fun episode coming up. But on our next episode, we are going to be ranking the top 10 cereal mascots. And so
yes, sir.
we have done a cereals podcast. Please go back and check that out. It's one of our first ones.
Yeah,
Fantastic podcast. Had a
so
ton of
good,
fun.
so good,
But most cereals have a
so fun.
mascot. Isn't that right, Nick?
It is right. It is right indeed. Might even be some lucky guys in there. Might even be some tigers in there. Who knows? But that's gonna be fun. So remember to catch us in that next episode, and I'm excited for it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, me too. This isn't about the cereal. This is about who is representing the cereal. I don't really even
Yes.
know who I was doing just
That
then.
was good. That was
I
good. I think
just
we should end it on that. How
I
do you
just
feel
made it up.
about that?
Let's do it. Let's end it. Ranker fam,
Okay.
we'll see you next time.
Deuces.